said, stop right here. Join Mukonkela from Inside to give you the best and most practical, actionable insights. Welcome back to the Ndalama Insights Business Show, and today we're discussing retirement planning and pension funds in Zambia, securing your financial future. Joining us once again is Mukonke from Insight Partners Africa Limited, who will provide additional insights on NAPSA as well as partial withdrawals. Mukonke, welcome back.
Good morning, Leslie. How are you?
Very well, thank you. And how are you?
Brilliant.
Great.
And good morning to the listeners.
Okay, now, today we are looking at a very, very important topic. It's one of those topics that I think everyone has been talking about this year. Should be the biggest thing that has happened this year, NAPSA as well as partial withdrawals. Remember, you can join us and chat live with us on YouTube at mukonki.mukonkela, and we look forward to participation. Now, let's start with the first question, though. What is retirement planning, and how can I start planning for my retirement?
Retirement planning is about planning for your future when you stop work. Right now, you've got a full-time employment, or you're in full-time employment, or you've got a business running, you're probably young and energetic, but there will be a time when you won't have that energy and you need to retire. So planning for that day when you are not going to be able to work is called retirement planning. And it looks at the future. So retirement planning looks at the future. So you need to consider how much money you're going to be able to make in the future when you are not able to have that full-time job, or when you don't have the energy to run your business the way you're doing it right now. So consider your future income. And it's also important for you to put retirement planning as part of your financial life goals, rather than separating it from your life goal planning, which we started with when we started this program this year. Include retirement planning as part of your life goal planning. And it's for everybody, even young people. Retirement planning is not just for old people, as some people think. In fact, when you're younger, that's even the right time for you to start planning for retirement. I like to say your children are not your retirement plan. So create an actual plan. Consider how much you want to make in future, or how much money you would love to live off in future when you retire.
Okay. Now, how can I estimate the amount of money I will need for a comfortable retirement?
So estimating how much money you need is very important. And it goes back to the kind of lifestyle you're living right now. What kind of life are you living right now? And is that the same kind of life you'd like to live when you retire? So if right now you're driving a Porsche car, would you love to continue driving that car when you retire? Because remember, your income won't be the same. And if you look at retirement funds, especially the National Retirement Fund, which we're going to talk about very soon, you will not be getting as much as you think. It's a small contribution that you make. So consider the kind of lifestyle you want to live when you retire. Also look at your current obligations. If you're just if you're nearing maybe 40, 35, 38, and that's when you're getting married and having children, that's definitely going to have an impact, Leslie, on your finances upon retirement, because we expect your child, if you're 40 years like some of us, and then you have a child this year, that child is going to be 20 by the time you're getting to the official retirement age, which is 60 years. All those things are things you need to consider. And also your lifestyle, your current lifestyle. Are you healthy? Do you work out? Do you exercise? Are you fit? What kind of lifestyle are you living? Because that will determine what kind of medical bills you're going to be incurring upon retirement. And that will definitely affect your income. So all these are things you need to consider when planning for your retirement.
Okay, quite a lot of questions to ask yourself. Now, what types of pension plans are available in Zambia, and are they optional?
So we have various pension plans. The one that most of us are familiar with is NAPSA, which stands for National Pension Scheme Authority. NAPSA is mandatory. It's a mandatory fund for employees in the formal sector. And it collects contributions from both the employers and employees. So both the employer and employee are required to contribute 5% each. So in total, we contribute 10% to NAPSA. So that's a mandatory pension fund. We also have private or personal pension funds, normally run by employers, called occupational pension funds. And these allow you as an individual with your company to contribute towards your retirement. So, and we've got others for the public sector as well. But the key thing here is to notice that we've got so many options for you to start contributing towards your pension, especially if you don't have other sources of revenue. It's very important that you start contributing towards your pension.
And how does contributing to a pension fund basically benefit my financial future?
So when you contribute towards a pension, the money you're contributing, we are calling them savings. They don't just sit there at a pension fund. The pension fund managers actually invest that money into investment vehicles that earn or make more money on top of the money that you've saved, which is why for those that are actually even withdrawing their partial withdrawals, if you had contributed, let's say 500 kwacha, you had contributed, let's say 1,000 kwacha, and you are getting, 20,000 out of that 1,000 kwacha, you're not going to get the exact 20 because you will get more because of the return on investment. Fund managing is pool so that you can secure your financial future. But then the question you need to ask yourself is that return enough to cover the desired lifestyle that I want to live in future? These are questions that you need to start thinking about, because some of us overestimate our pension contributions. They are very minimal. 5%, 10% of your contribution of the amount you're getting right now is very minimal. And so let's be a bit realistic and actually really assess how much we are contributing. So ask yourself, look at the statement from NAPSA or any other pension fund, private. How much have you contributed so far? Have you ever looked at that, Leslie?
Yeah.
And then ask yourself, if I had to retire today, will this sustain the desired lifestyle that I want to live? If not, you've got a lot more work to do.
Definitely, quite a number of years to go. Well, we're talking about retirement planning and pension funds in Zambia, securing your financial future. And I have Mkonke Mkonkela with me in the studio. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back.
You are still listening to the Galama Insights Business Show, brought to you by Insight Partners Africa. Leave your comment or question on Mukonkela's YouTube channel. The Galama Insights, turning your challenges into actionable insights.
Welcome back, and of course, this is Galama Insights. Today we're talking about retirement planning and pension funds in Zambia, securing your financial future. And with me in the studio is Mkonke Mkonkela from Insight Partners Africa. We move on to our next question about partial withdrawals before retirement. Mkonke, could you explain what this means and how it affects retirement planning?
Thank you, Leslie. Before I do that, we've got Sikwanda from London. He's saying it's so early. I got up early and I'm watching you from London. It's 06:15 right now. Thank you, Sikwanda, for joining. I mean, this has been the big event. From April this year, you are able to withdraw as long as you are above 45 years old or you've contributed consistently for the past 5 years, which is, contribution towards NAPSA. You can withdraw 20% of your pension fund. This was news that was really exciting for many people. Leslie, you could see the lines at the NAPSA head offices.
Yeah, very, very interesting. We all wanted our money immediately.
We all wanted our money immediately. And how I wish when it comes to savings, we can also line up like that to save our money. So let's talk about this partial withdrawal. While it's an option which is flexible for many people, I mean, I understand why we want to access this money. We've heard of stories of people that never got their retirements upon retiring. We've heard of issues of accessing this money for whatever reason. And so it's understandable that people want to access this money. And also people are in dire need of money. They've got medical expenses, they've got plots that are not developed that they would want to develop, and all of that. And so while I will encourage you, if you've got a good plan for your money, I mean, for you to want to get it right now, you obviously have a good plan. So if you've got a good plan that is going to make more money, a higher return than NAPSA will, I'll definitely encourage you to consider getting this partial withdrawal. And whereas this is a flexible option for you, you still need to consider the long-term implications of withdrawing your money too quickly. Because what this means is that your retirement savings are going to be less. And so even the return that you would have made on the money that if you did not withdraw it is going to be less than if you had left it at NAPSA. And so really consider carefully your options. And if it's not necessary for you to withdraw this 20%, maybe you don't really need that money. Consider other sources. Consider building emergency funds that we've been talking about and looking at other ways. If it's a business, consider ways of becoming more efficient with your business rather than accessing this money and putting it in a non-profitable business. So there's so many ways you need to look at this partial withdrawal.
Now, our listeners, find this kind of information valuable, because I know a lot of people have been asking questions about this partial withdrawal. But if I make a partial withdrawal before retirement, how does it affect my future pension benefits?
Good question, Leslie. So we're thinking about the future, right? The amount you're going to withdraw, the 20%, will no longer be available to generate investment or return on investment, because the amount of money you have invested in a pension fund earns you a return. So if you draw part of that money, what you're doing is you're reducing let's call it capital on which the return is supposed to be growing. And that has financial implications for your future pension fund. And so when you are withdrawing this money, very critical that you ask yourself, if I draw this 20%, am I going to make much more return than keeping it at NAPSA? I mean, it's also important for NAPSA to also tell us, be transparent with how much return on investment we make on our pension funds. This hasn't been quite clear, and it is something that I'm working on. I will crack the code. I will get it for you. But it's important to understand how much return I make on my investment so that I can assess against other investment vehicles. And so this is what we need to be asking. But the first starting point is go to NAPSA, get a statement. You don't even need to go, by the way, actually you can do this online. Get a statement online, look at how much you've invested so far, and then look at what your desired lifestyle is. Yeah.
Okay, now let's address a common concern. When it comes to pension, can a pension plan alone sustain someone in retirement?
Ask yourself that 5%, and then your employer also contributes 10% of whatever amount you're getting right now. You ask yourself, can that sustain your life if you don't do anything else after you retire? And by the way, I will repeat, your child is not a retirement plan. I mean, you've invested in them, you birthed them, you took them to school. Now, that's where it ends. If they want to take care of you eventually, that's up to them. And nowadays, the young people know about the nuclear family and, independence and whatever. It's going to be hard to get your child to start supporting you. You're going to be destitute. But ask yourself, is the 10% enough if I don't do anything else? I would say for me, it's not enough, which is why the financial freedom and this program is very essential. Start looking at other investment options. How can you invest in property, in stocks, in the government bonds and treasury bills, so that you can make much, even in starting a business if you are young. And when you start looking at these options, look at your age as well. There are some investment options that are not open to you because of your age. So look at investment options that are open to you, that you can start investing in so that you can make more money. So when you retire, it's not just about NAPSA's contribution, but you'll have built an entire investment portfolio that you can live off, which is why the Ndalama Insights Radio program up to December is focusing on financial freedom. How do you access financial freedom? And retirement planning is part of financial freedom. And this program is going to lead to an actual training workshop at the Radisson Blu in December on the 14th and 15th, where we are on. By the time we're getting to December, we'll have all the practical tools and skills to actually practically apply this in 2025. By the end of 2025, I expect a number of us to start attaining financial freedom. And what this means is our passive income is going to be much more than our expenses. In our retirement plans are all going to be part of this plan. So that is what you need to be looking at.
All right, thank you, Mukonke, for providing valuable insights and answering important questions on retirement planning as well as pension funds in Zambia. It has been an interesting discussion.
Thank you so much. Can I just end with Jack Banda on YouTube? He's saying, good morning, listening to you on radio, but wanted to see today, so I had to watch you from here. Thank you, Jack, and thank you so much to you all. See you next week.
All right, and that concludes today's episode of the Ndalama Insights Business Show. And we definitely hope this discussion has empowered you to take proactive steps towards securing your financial future through retirement planning. Until next week, have a great week.
You have been listening to Galama Insights Business Show, brought to you by Insight Partners Africa. If you missed anything, visit www.insightpartnersafrica.com for recorded episodes and subscribe to Mukonki.Mukonkela on YouTube for more actionable insights.